This conference will now be recorded.
So first thing is, yesterday I've covered about how to set up the Cloudera Quick Start VM. So some of you might have missed it, but that's okay. Don't worry, because I am going to share the recording of yesterday's session. Share your email IDs to me. Don't send it to everyone in the chats. There is an option to send it to only to me. Send it only to me. I'll give the access to the Google Drive, because here you can see the Cloudera Quick Start VM, and you can download it. This is what we're going to use for our hands-on sessions. Okay, so you also have to install something called as VirtualBox. Again, if you refer to the yesterday's recording, you'll be able to get everything. So don't worry about on that part. So I have given access to some of you already, whoever shared their email IDs yesterday, and whoever is going to share the email IDs today, I'm going to give the access to them as well. Having said that, so I am going to open the VirtualBox here. So just search for VirtualBox. I already have it installed. So you can see the Cloudera Quick Start VM here. So this is the one that we're going to use for our hands-on sessions. So this is a virtual machine where all the big data software related, they're already automatically installed. So you don't need to install anything else. If you just install this Cloudera Quick Start VM, then we are good to go.
Actually, you gave access to first day class, right? But there is no yesterday's recording in the drive.
Yeah. So there was some problem. I will upload that in some time, right?
Okay.
I'll upload that sometime.
Okay.
Or let me do it now itself. Anyways, I will do it offline. Let's not disturb everybody. So I will do it offline. Once the session is done, I'll be able to do it. Okay. So basically, you have to start this Cloudera Quick Start VM. Right click, start, normal start. Again, this will take anywhere between 4 minutes to 10 minutes of time, depending on the RAM that you gave. So you can see that it will take some time. Meanwhile, I'll set the agenda for today's session. So basically, as a big data developer or as a data engineer, we will have to work on the big data clusters, and all the big data clusters are built on top of Linux operating systems. So we have to have some knowledge about the Linux servers on how to deal with them. Only then we can be a good data engineer or a good big data developer. So the agenda for today's session is to understand the aspects that are related with respect to Linux for data engineering. So let's get started. First, let's talk about Linux distributions of flavors. So first of all, let's try to understand this term called as a distribution or a flavor. So what is a distribution? What is a flavor? I'll give a very simple example to understand this. So let's say that someone is using Samsung smartphone. What's the mobile operating system there? It's nothing but Android, right? Let's say if someone is using iPhone, what is the mobile operating system there? It's nothing but iOS. So what are these? These are nothing but the flavors or distributions in mobile operating systems. That is basically the Android and iOS. These are all kind of mobile operating system flavors, right? So similarly in Linux also we do have different flavors or different distributions. So again, different people use different terminology. Some call it as distribution, some call it as flavors, some call it as versions, some call it as types, some call it as kinds, some call it as flavors, and some people even use a shortcut called as distro. Distro stands for distribution. So let me talk about the popular flavors or distributions in Linux. The popular ones are Ubuntu, Debian, Red Hat, Fedora, OpenSUSE, and then CentOS. These are all the popular flavors in the industry, but out of all this, one flavor is very, very popular in the big data projects, which is nothing but Red Hat. So Red Hat is the most popular version that is used in the most of the big data projects or data engineering projects. And good thing is, the commands in Red Hat and commands in CentOS, they are exactly the same thing. Another good thing is the Cloudera Quick Start VM that we are using is based upon the CentOS flavor of Linux, right? So basically the commands that we're going to learn now, they will still hold good once you join any project as well. So we got some idea about what a Linux flavor is, what a Linux distribution is. Now let's get started. So let's talk about the first concept in Linux called as directory. What is a directory? So what is a directory in Linux? In simple terms, I would say that a folder in Windows operating system is nothing but a directory in Linux. It is just a different terminology. So what do we do in Windows? We create a folder. Within that folder, we keep all the files or folders, etc., right? Such as image files, audio files, video files, text files, etc. We are going to keep all the files or folders in a given folder in Windows. The same thing we are going to do it in a directory as well. We are going to store the data within a directory in Linux. So let's talk about the first Linux command. We'll talk about mkdir. What is mkdir? Mkdir basically stands for make directory. So this command is used to create the directory, make directory or create a directory. So we'll try to understand the syntax of mkdir command. So what is syntax? So syntax is nothing but set of rules to be followed, right? So now to create a directory, we have to use mkdir command in this same format. That is mkdir space the directory that you wanted to create. That will take care about creating the directory for you. So let's get into the hands-on. So by this time, the Cloudera Start VM should be up and running. Let me show that. So here you can see that the Cloudera Quick Start VM is up and running. So this is how it should look like once you actually start. Once you start it, basically. So you can actually close this message. So the top right corner, you can close this message. And this is the browser, which is Mozilla Firefox. You can close this as well. So this is how it should look like once you start your Cloudera Quick Start VM. Okay, so generally in Windows, we use command prompt to type all the commands. But on Linux machines, to run any commands, we are going to use terminal. How do you open terminal? Right click anywhere, say open in terminal. Right click anywhere, say open in terminal. Click on it and maximize it. So this is the place where we are going to run all of our commands. So first step is let us increase the font. Click on view and click on zoom in twice. That will take care about increasing the font for you, right? So let me just go back to the desktop here. You can see that do you have any directories here? We don't have any directories or folders. We will create our first directory in Linux by using mkdir command. Mkdir space d1. So this will take care about creating a directory for me with the name called as d1 on the desktop. Hit enter. Go back to the desktop now. I can see a directory called as d1 available, right? So let me highlight that again. You can see the directory d1 here. So that's how by using mkdir command, we can create a directory in Linux. If I go inside this directory, I don't have any contents yet because this is an empty directory that we have created. Now the question is, can I create multiple directories in a single shot? Yes, let me show that. For that, you just have to say mkdir space d2 space d3 space d4. So I'm going to create 3 empty directories now by using this command. Enter. Now you should be seeing 3 directories now. You can see directory d2, d3, and then d4 created, right? So that's how we can create multiple directories also in a single shot by using this command. Now let us see how to create multi-level directories. Now what is the meaning of multi-level directories? The meaning of multi-level directories is nothing but we know that we have a country, and country contains states and states contain districts. So this is the hierarchy, or this is the level that we know, right? Now I wanted to create such directory structure. That is, I want to have a country directory created. Within country, I wanted to have states. Within states, I want to have districts directory. So this we call it as multi-level directories. I want to create this multi-level directory structure. How do we create that? We just have to say mkdir space -p. So -p here stands for create the parent directory if it doesn't exist. That is, for districts directory, the parent directory is states. For states directory, the parent directory is countries. So it will take care about creating this entire directory structure for you. Hit enter. Go to the desktop. Now I can see a directory called as country available here. Click on country. I can see states. Go inside states. I can see districts. If you go inside districts, I should not have anything. So that's how we can create the hierarchy of the directories by using mkdir with -p option. So we have seen how to create a single directory, and we have also seen how to create multiple directories simultaneously, just separating them with the spaces. And also we have seen how to create the multi-level directories by using -p option. So let's talk about RMDIR. So what is RMDIR? So mkdir is used to create a directory. RMDIR is to remove the directory. Now let me show you how to remove the directory by using RMDIR command. So first, let's say I wanted to remove the directory called as D1, right? So then I would just say RMDIR space D1. That should take care about removing the directory for you. Right now, if I can go back to the desktop, I don't see the directory called as D1 because the directory D1 which was supposed to be here, it has been deleted by using RMDIR command. Now I wanted to remove D2, D3 and D4. I want to remove all these three directories in a single shot. Can I do it? Yes. All you need to do is you just have to say RMDIR space D2 space D3 space D4. This should take care about deleting all the three directories for you. Right? Let's go and check. We don't have those three directories now. D2, D3 and D4, which was supposed to be there on the desktop, they have been deleted by using RMDIR command. Now I wanted to remove country directory. Remember, country is not an empty directory because if you go inside country, I can see states. If I go inside states, I can see districts. So I wanted to remove everything basically. I want to remove states, I want to remove districts, everything together. How do we do that? So let us give a try with RMDIR command. RMDIR space country. Enter, it fails. It's saying failed to remove directory country. And because directory is not empty. Remember that the command RMDIR works only if the directory is empty. So in our case, directory D1, D2, D3, D4, all those were empty directories. Hence, we were able to remove them easily. But in this case, the directory country is not an empty directory because country contains state, state contains districts. Now to remove it, we have to use rm command with -rf option. Rm with -rf and then give the directory name. So what is the meaning of R here? R is nothing but recursive. So what is the meaning of recursiveness? So recursiveness is nothing but, let me go back here. So first it will go inside country, then it will go inside states, then it will go inside districts. So there is no content here within districts. So it will come back. First it will remove districts and then it will remove states and then finally it will remove country. So that's how it's basically going to remove everything together. That's the meaning of recursively removing it. And also we are providing an option called as -f, which nothing but is going to remove it forcefully. Hit enter. Now country along with its subdirectories such as states and districts must be deleted. Let's go and confirm. You can see that I don't have anything on my desktop because country along with its subdirectories such as states and districts have been deleted by using this command.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Say like in D1, we have like 100 photos and we are removing that directory, that particular directory. So
Okay.
like it will be deleted permanently, or is there any way we can recover them? Say like by mistake we have deleted it.
No,
So,
actually, yeah, that's a very good question. So basically, in Windows, you can recover it. If you haven't done shift delete in Windows, you can
okay.
recover it. But in Linux, that's a permanent delete. If you delete something, that's gone completely. So
Okay.
that's why whenever you try to run these RM commands, right, RMDR or RM commands, you have to be little careful because in Linux, that's a permanent delete. Once you
Okay.
delete it, that's a gone case. You're not going to get anything. There is no other way to recover it.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sure. So we have seen how to use RMDR command to remove the directory. We have seen how to remove a non-empty directory in a recursive way. So here I have used small r, but even you can even use capital R also. It is nothing but recursively removing it. Both are same.
Actually, I have a doubt. What if we want to
Hey
delete a
guys,
folder?
hold on a minute. Hold on. See, generally in my sessions, I don't take audio questions. If you have any questions, please put your questions in the chat box. I will sure that I will answer all the questions because that disturbs my flow, that disturbs my focus. Sorry about that, but that's how I take forward my classes. So every session, if you have any questions, please put your questions in chat box. This is for everyone. No audio answers, please. No audio questions, please. Okay. Yeah. So because that disturbs my flow and focus completely. So hence, I take only audio questions. Okay. Yeah. So please go ahead with your question in the chat, Bhavana. I will answer that. Okay. Yeah. So we have seen how to remove the non-empty directories by using rm with -rf option, and we have also seen how to remove multiple directories in a single shot by using rmdr with separated with the spaces. Right. You should be able to delete all of them. Okay. So before moving on, I have a question in the chat. So which I have got. So uh, the question that I got in the chat is, let me read the question completely first. What if you wanted to delete a folder which has files in it? What if you want to delete a folder which has files in it? Okay, so we'll talk about that. So we are not there yet. So we'll be covering that. Probably tomorrow I'll cover that. Right. So everything will be covered. So don't worry. So all the aspects that you're going to deal in the real-time projects, all of them will be covered. Right. Because we haven't seen how to create the files yet. Because we'll have a session tomorrow where we are going to create the files, creating the files within the folders, how to deal with them, how to delete them. So all of that will be covered tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, let's move on. So let's talk about PWD. So PWD basically stands for print working directory, or it's also called as present working directory. So basically to find out the exact location where you are currently working on, that's where PWD can be used. So PWD stands for print working directory or present working directory. So let me show that. So you can just type PWD here. You can see that currently I'm working the desktop directory. So PWD is used to figure out the current working directory. Now I have typed all these commands. If you want to clear my screen, there is a command called as clear command. I'm going to run clear command. Hit enter. That will clear the screen for me. Okay. So that's how we can use PWD command to print the working directory. Also clear command to clear the screen. So let us talk about CD command. So meanwhile, I have got another question in the chat saying, the question that I got in the chat is called as, can we remove multiple non-empty directories? Yes, that's what I've told, right? So I'll go back to that slide. Yeah, so these are all the non-empty, these are all the empty directories. Okay, multiple non-empty directories. Yes, we can do that. Let me show that quickly with hands-on. So I'll just quickly try to create the same directory structure. So I'll also create another directory structure. Let's say professor, associate professor, and assistant professor. So I'm just creating this hierarchy. Let's go to the desktop. So you can see now professor contains associate professor and then assistant professor. So let's say I wanted to remove these two together because we have country, we have states, we have districts, right? So I want to delete both in a single shot. Let's try this. So RM with hyphen. I've shown with small r, let me show with capital R also. Let's try with country and let's try with professor. So both are deleted, right? So I hope your question has been answered, right, Vanita?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about CD. So CD is basically used to change the directory. That is, if you want to move from one directory to other directory, you can actually use CD command. The syntax is this: CD space the directory wherever you are trying to go to. So let's go back to the Cloudera quick-start-VM here. So right now I am in the desktop directory, but now I wanted to go to the parent directory of desktop. What is the parent directory of desktop here? It's nothing but Cloudera directory. So to go to the parent directory of desktop directory, which is nothing but Cloudera directory, I can say cd space double dot, type pwd. I am in the parent directory of desktop now, which is nothing but Cloudera. Now I want to go to the parent directory of Cloudera, which is nothing but home directory. So I'm going to type cd space double dot one more time again, cd space double dot, do pwd. I am in the parent directory of Cloudera, which is nothing but home, right? So any questions till here, guys? Please put it in the chat box. I believe we are good till here. Okay, now I want to go to the parent directory of home, right? So what is the parent directory of home? Which is nothing but this forward slash. This forward slash is nothing but the parent directory of home directory. I'm going to say cd space double dot again. Type pwd. I am in the parent directory of home, which is nothing but this forward slash, right? So now you can see that to reach to the forward slash directory, which is called as root directory, I have typed cd space dot dot 3 times, right? Because there are 3 levels to reach to this root directory, which is nothing but this forward slash. Now, can I club all these 3 in a single shot? Let me show that. I will go back to my desktop directory again. So right now I am in the desktop directory. I want to go to the root directory. What is root directory? Root directory in Linux is nothing but this forward slash. So the way I can go to the root directory is, you can say cd space dot dot slash dot dot slash dot dot, because there are 3 levels to reach to the root directory. Hence I'm using cd space dot dot 3 times. Enter, do pwd. I am in the root directory, which is nothing but the forward slash. Let me go back to the desktop directory one more time. So I'm in the desktop directory again. If you want, you can even directly say cd space forward slash. That will directly take you to the root directory. Cd space forward slash. That will directly take me to the root directory. Right. So let me ask you one entire question here. I will go to my home, Cloudera, desktop. So right now I am in the desktop directory, right? The entire question is this. So we have seen how to use double dot. What if I use single dot? So the entire question is this. So right now I'm on the desktop directory. I'm going to say cd space dot, hit enter. And then if I use pwd, what will be the output? Let me ask the entire question again. So right now I'm in the desktop directory. I'm typing cd space single dot here. I will hit enter. And then if I do pwd, what will be the output? That is one of the entire question, right? So let me answer that question now. So I'm typing cd space single dot, not double dot. If I do pwd again, interestingly, I'm still in the desktop directory, because in Linux we have got special meaning for dot and double dot. So double dot, we are very clear. It will take you to the parent directory, right? Double dot is used to take you to the parent directory, which is nothing but the directory which is one level above. What about single dot? So single dot will actually represent the current directory. So it's like, you are at your home and you have boarded into your car and you're saying that, okay, go to your home. It will not take you anywhere. It will stay at the same location, right? The same thing is happening here, because cd space single dot has got special meaning. Single dot represents the current directory in Linux. So that's why initially it was in desktop directory. After typing cd command also, it is still in the desktop directory, because single dot represents current directory in Linux, right? Now let me talk about home directory. This is very, very important, because once you start working on the projects, you're going to get your dedicated directory in the project. That is called as home directory. So now to see the home directory, first let me type a command. So let me go back to the Cloudera quick start view. So guys, right now I'm in the home directory. I'm going to run a command now. Don't worry about this command. I'll talk about this tomorrow. So the command is this, ls-lrt. Ignore about this command. I want you to focus on this Cloudera directory. So for every user, we are going to get a dedicated directory, and you can see the dedicated directory under this home directory. Under this home directory, you can see the user ID. As we have logged in as the Cloudera user, we are using the Cloudera user home directory. If you type ID command will give you the user ID. UID stands for user ID. Right now we have logged in as the Cloudera user, right? So for the Cloudera user, the home directory is nothing but the Cloudera. Now once you join your project, you're going to get a dedicated directory with your name that will be available under home directory, right? I hope you're clear now. So for the Cloudera user, the home directory is nothing but Cloudera directory. Where is it available? It's under home directory. Similarly, once you join your project, you're going to get a dedicated directory with your name. That is called as home directory for your user, right? Now, the question is how to go to the home directory. There are a couple of ways using which you can go to your home directory. Let me show that. I will go back to my desktop directory. So right now I'm in the desktop directory. I will type clear command. Just a moment, guys. Sorry for the interruption. Yeah, I'm back. So I'm right now in the desktop directory. Now I basically wanted to go to the home directory of the Cloudera user. So what is the home directory of the Cloudera user? It is nothing but home Cloudera path. To go to the home directory of the Cloudera user, you just have to type cd, hit enter, do pwd. You are in the home directory of the Cloudera user, which is nothing but /home Cloudera. Right? So this is one way. I'll also show the second way. So right now I'm again in the desktop directory. I wanted to go to the home directory of the Cloudera user again, which is nothing but /home /Cloudera. The second way is you can use cd space tilde symbol. So this symbol that you're seeing here is called a tilde symbol. Let me make a note of it. So this symbol is called as tilde, tilde, tilde symbol. Right? You can see this symbol close to the escape button on your keyboard. Right? We are going to use this tilde symbol to take you to the home directory of the Cloudera user. Hit enter. Do pwd. You can see that you are in the home directory of the Cloudera user. So that's how there are a couple of ways using which you can go to the home directory. One is by using cd or cd space tilde symbol. This is called as tilde, tilde symbol. This will take you to the home directory of the Cloudera user. So I spoke about single dot and double dot, right? Let me give you more information. So always remember that single dot represents the current directory in Linux and double dot represents the parent directory in Linux. Now what is the meaning of parent directory? So parent directory is nothing but the directory which is one level above the current working directory. One level above the current working directory. Suppose let's say that I am at UG1 directory. For the UG1 directory, what is the parent directory? Parent directory is nothing but the directory which is one level above, that is ITS. Now, what is the parent directory for ITS? Now, the parent directory for ITS is nothing but the directory which is one level above, which is nothing but home. Now, again, what is the parent directory of home? Directory which is one level above, which is nothing but this forward slash. This forward slash that you're seeing here is called as root directory in Linux. It is called as root directory in Linux. Why is it called as root directory? Because it is at the top of the hierarchy. As you can see, it is at the top, and it is also called as parent directory of all the directories in Linux. Parent directory of all the directories in Linux. I hope we are clear with current directory and parent directory, right? Now, I have listed down whatever I've covered. So let me talk about it now. So we have seen how to use cd space tilde symbol and cd to take you to the home directory. And we have also seen how to use cd space double dot to take you to the parent directory. We have also seen how to use cd space forward slash to go to the root directory. We have also seen how to use cd space dot dot slash dot dot to take you 2 direct levels above or 3 direct levels above, etc. Let me talk about the second one, cd space hyphen. So right now I'm in the home Cloudera path. Suppose, or let me go to the desktop directory. So I'm in the desktop directory right now. I can go to the root directory by using cd space forward slash. Do pwd. I'm in the root directory, right? Which is nothing but forward slash. Now I want to go to the previous directory, that is before coming to the root directory. Where was I? I was in the desktop directory. I want to go to the previous directory. I can use cd space hyphen. Do pwd. I'm back to my desktop directory. But before coming to desktop directory, where was I? I was in the root directory. Again, I can go to the previous directory by using cd space hyphen. I'm back to my root directory. So you can see that here clearly, cd space hyphen is used to go to the previous directory. Basically, if you want to switch between two directories in Linux, we can use cd space hyphen. Right? So we can use cd space hyphen in Linux to go to the previous directory of the current directory. Basically, to switch between two directories in Linux, we can use cd space hyphen. So let me talk about Linux path completion. This is very, very important, guys. So especially in the projects, it will save a lot of time and effort for you if you use Linux path completion. So suppose let's say that I want to go to my desktop directory. I have to just say cd space desktop. I have to type this name fully. But instead of typing this fully, I can even say cd space de and then hit tab. Once you hit tab, it will try to automatically complete it for you. So let me show that. So I will go to the home directory of the Cloudera user. I'm in home Cloudera path. So I wanted to go to the desktop directory. So ideally speaking, the traditional ways you have to say desktop fully, but I don't need to type it fully. I can just type 1 or 2 letters that will automatically fill it for you. Let me show that. Suppose if I say D, hit tab on the keyboard, you can see that it is giving me all the options that are starting with D. Why is it giving only these 3? Because all these are starting with D, right? But I want to go to desktop, right? It is saying that, okay, all these are starting with D, which one you want? Then we can say, okay, I want to go to desktop. I can fill it up with E. That will uniquely identify it. That is, if I just say DE, I'm going to hit tab now. It is automatically filling it for me because none of the other options are starting with E, right? Only desktop is starting with E, and that's why it is automatically filling it up for me. Right? Hit enter. I am in the desktop directory. So I'm again back to my home Cloudera path. Suppose this time I want to go to my downloads. I'll say cd space D, hit tab again. Again, it's saying, okay, 3 things are starting with D. Which one do you want to go? Now I have to go to downloads. You know that the second character is nothing but O. Now let me type O, hit tab. This time it's saying, okay, there are 2 things which are starting with O. Which one do you want to go? I want to go to downloads. So I'm going to type W now. So now this should be able to uniquely identify because downloads is starting with DOW. Hit tab. It will automatically fill it for you. So this is very, very important feature, guys, because in the projects, we'll have to deal with a lot of directories and files. Using this auto completion feature by using tab, that will save a lot of time and effort for you. This will be helpful in 2 scenarios. One is sometimes we may not remember the full name of the file names or directory names. We may remember first 2 or 3 characters of it. In that case, it will help you to automatically fill. And the second scenario could be sometimes the file names or directory names that you are dealing with may be very lengthier. There are chances that you might make some typing mistakes. Let me show that. Suppose now the spelling of desktop is DESKTOP, right? Suppose instead of TOP, I'll give it as TAP, right? So which is actually wrong. It will say no such file or directory. So we can avoid all the typing mistakes just by saying cd space DE, hit tab, automatically complete it, right? I don't need to worry about what the spelling is, right? So that's how we can use this auto completion feature by using tab. That is going to save a lot of time and effort for you, especially in the projects. You're going to use this quite a lot, right? So there is one question in the chat about CD. So I hope Shila, you are clear with CD now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's with respect to Linux path completion. Let's talk about man and help. Let me ask you a question here. So let's say that you are trying to buy a refrigerator to your home. So what are you going to get along with the refrigerator? So along with the refrigerator, you're going to get a reference or manual, right? So what is the purpose behind the reference or manual book? It is basically to use the refrigerator in a better way and in a correct way, right? So you might be knowing only few features of a refrigerator, but if you go through the manual, you'll be able to explore a lot many features. And along with that, some of the features you might be using it in a wrong way. Now, after referring that manual book, you should be able to use it in a correct way, right? So similarly in Linux also, for every command that we're going to talk, we have a manual page, right? We call it as man in short. So it's a kind of reference book for all of the Linux commands. The syntax is this: man space, basically the command that you wanted to look for, That's going to give the manual pages for that command. Let me show that. So I want to see the manual pages of mkdir command. Say man space mkdir. Then hit enter. You can see that it's giving a short description about mkdir, saying okay, it is used to make directories or create directories. You can see the syntax of it. You can see the short description about the command. Also, you can see various options such as -p, -v, etc. We have already seen -p. That is, create the parent directories if it doesn't exist. Instead of -p, you can even use -f in parents. It will work in the same way. So you can see that there are a lot of options. If you want to go through this manual pages, you can use up arrow and down arrow on your keyboard, right, to navigate. So that's how you can use manual pages to get more information about any given command. You can quit from this by typing Q. I'm going to type Q from here. I'm back to my desktop. I'm back to my normal Linux terminal. So sometimes manual pages may not be available. In that case, you can use help. The command is this: command namespace -f help. That will give you the list of all the available options for a given command. Let me show that. So I'm going to say command name is mkdir -f help. So this is going to give me the list of all the options that are supported for mkdir command. Hit enter. So mkdir space -f help. You can see the syntax of it. You can see the short description about it, and you can see the list of all the various options along with the descriptions, right? So that's how you can use either man pages or help, right? Again, sometimes help might not be available, but at least one of these two will be available for every given command. So if you go by priority, I would say first look for help, because using help you're going to get crisp and clear information. If help is not available, then only go and look for manual pages. But at least one of these two will be available for every given command, right? So okay, and then I want to talk about clear command. So clear is used to clear the screen, right? Also, instead of clear, you can even use control button, control along with L on your keyboard. This is also used to clear the screen, right? Again, I'm using plus symbol here, doesn't mean that you have to use plus button on your keyboard. It is the meaning that you have to use control button along with L on your keyboard. That is also used to clear the screen. Let me show that now. So I'm going to say control button on L on my keyboard. That will clear the screen for me, right? So that's how you can clear it. Any questions still here, guys? Anybody have any questions? I'll wait for a couple of minutes. Anybody have any questions so far? Okay, there is one question in the chat. Let me take that question and put it here so that you can also read the question. Can we create directories without writing commands on desktop here? No, okay, you can do that. That is a okay, let me show that. The question is this: can we create the directories without writing commands? Let me go back here. So you can say right click on the desktop, say create folder, and then you can give some name, let's say D1. That also works. But the preferred way in Linux is to use the commands, because you're not going to get this user interface in all the Linux servers. So that's why, whether you have this user interface or not, to create the directories or to run anything, we have to use commands. Okay. In fact, you can even delete this. Right click. You can say move to trash. So to answer your question in short, yes, we can create the directories without typing commands also. Okay, I hope you are clear till here. Okay, now I want to show you one more interesting thing here. You can just type history command to see the list of all the commands that you have typed till now. You can see that these are all the commands that you have typed. This will be very important, especially once you start working on the projects. If you are curious to understand what your teammates are typing on the Linux servers or big data systems, then you can use history command. So that will actually be used to see the list of all the commands that you have typed till now. Also, along with every command, you can see a number. So let me highlight that. So if you can take this command, there is a number associated with that, right? So now I don't need to type this entire command. I can just use this number to run this command. Let me show that. So I'm going to use number 3 now. So I'll go to my desktop. I'm going to use number 3, but in front of that you have to use exclamation symbol. Enter. Now the meaning of this is it will start from the bottom and it will go all the way till command number 3, and it will pick up the corresponding command and then it's going to run that command. Now if you go and check on the desktop, you should have a country directory created. You can see that I can see country directory available here, right? So that's the importance of history. So you don't need to type the command, you can just use that number, that will automatically run the command for you. Suppose let's say now you can see that we have the country directory created. Country contains states, states contain districts. So now I basically wanted to delete this entire directory structure. I can use country command again. Sorry, I can just use the history command again. So if I can go back, you can see that I'm going to run this command number 7, which is nothing but rm with -rf. So let me use that exclamation symbol and then number 7. This will again go and search in your history. It will pick up the corresponding command. You can see that it's showing us rm with rf country. So this should have deleted it by now. If you can go on and check on the desktop, I don't have the country directory, that has been deleted. So that's how you can use this exclamation symbol and the number. It will start searching from the bottom. It will go all the way till the command number 7. It will go to command number 7. It will pick up the corresponding command and then it will run that command, right? So that's how you can use the history in an easiest way. Now I'm typing history, it is getting me all the commands, right? So it is displaying right now 67 commands for me. Now if you wanted to display only last 15 commands, then you can say history space 15. That will display only 15 commands. Suppose I want to display only last 10 commands, then you can just use history space 10. Suppose if I wanted to clear the history, I can say history space -c. That is used to clear the history. Now when I say clear the history, all the commands in the history could be deleted. Now I have typed history space -c. If I say history now, I don't have anything because I have cleared my history. Okay. Any questions still here, guys? Anybody have any questions? Let me know. Okay. If there are no questions, actually, I want to stop the class now because as it being the first answer sessions, I want to keep it little short. I don't want to overload with a lot of information. So, couple of assignments for you today. One is to set up the Cloudera Quick Start VM. I'm going to upload the recording in short. So I will upload yesterday's recording, using which you can go through and set up the Cloudera Quick Start VM on your machine. And once you set up the Cloudera Quick Start VM, I want a screenshot of this. Whatever you're seeing right now, I want a screenshot of this on my WhatsApp number. So I will share my WhatsApp number in the chat. So please make sure to send your screenshots onto this number, right? So that is one assignment. Of course, if you face any issues during the setup time, you can reach out to me on my WhatsApp number. We'll fix it. The second assignment is I will also share the today's recording. You can also refer to that. And I want you to practice today's session as well. That is the second assignment. Okay. So I will give the access to this Google Drive. If I have given your email address, I will give the access. So right now I'm pasting it in the chat. This is the Google Drive where you can find out the Cloudera Quick Start VM. Right?
Yeah.
So I hope you guys have given your email address and WhatsApp numbers in the chat yesterday. I think I have given access to most of you. So if you haven't received the access yet, please put your email address in the chat box. I'll give the access after this session.
Hi, Vamshi.
Yeah, Subhash, go ahead.
Yeah, I got the access for the Cloudera in the first class.